Oh hey, didn't see you there. Internet's best reactions, smart edition. I'm off to a wedding, but I was watching Formula 1, so I kind of missed the actual wedding, the Belgian Grand Prix. Let's get into your reactions. Congratulations, Beth and Dom, on your wedding. Sorry I missed it. Oh, goodness me. Where do I begin with the Belgian Grand Prix? Well, let's start with lap numero uno at Zav Davis BTCC fan. That four wide moment though. So the start of the race, Hamilton was on pole, but we all knew that going down past Eau Rouge and Raidillon, there would be some interesting shenanigans going into turn 5, and there was. You had Vettel and Hamilton, Vettel pretty much ahead of Hamilton, but then both the Force Indias coming out of nowhere. Ocon nearly took the lead, and that was very much a taking your sunglasses off moment. Now the other talking point, which I think we saw about 700 replays of because the rest of the race was rather dull, at XX Legacy YT, McLaren, Alonso, are you sure you want to leave? Alonso. And wow, what a turn 1. Hulkenberg, literally F1 sprint mode online game lobby right there. He did not care. He had cold tyres, cold brakes, just smashed into the back of Alonso. Alonso went flying, 2012-esque, and then Charles Leclerc with his halo was protected with his head. Some people are saying that Charles wouldn't have been any better off with the halo. I completely disagree. I genuinely think the halo did a lot of work. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. Submission comes in from @davb040703. Great, I'm pretty sure he's actually submitted something before. Hulkenberg in the first corner, be like. Jeez, that's a very good representation. And then Yas Marina Circuit getting involved with unfortunate replay of opening lap drama as the Renault punted Alonso over Leclerc. And that's actually great. Firstly, Minions GIFs are pretty good. There's not many out there, so guys, take notes. Use Minion GIFs. At Cohen_Van_Santon, Hulkenberg to Alonso with a Z. I've never seen Alonso spelt with a Z before, that's new. On lap 1, he got a 10 place penalty as well for next race, which has just been announced for the Italian Grand Prix. That's pretty fair, I'd say. Did he deserve 10 places or did he deserve more? I don't even know what the next stage up is after 10 places. I guess it's going towards sort of race ban, but it wasn't as bad as Grosjean in 2012, but Hulkenberg was a bit of a silly boy. And as I mentioned, we had a lot of replays at Esteban Aircon, Fernando's car right now. It pretty much shredded. Like, you could just see half the left side of the McLaren had just completely disintegrated. And it was very lucky that all of the drivers got out safe, so thank God. One final one about lap 1, because, I mean, did anything else really happen in the race? At Ruben P123, Alonso ramping off Leclerc, also Charles. Oh my goodness me, Charles. Oh gosh, I mean, can the kid actually catch a break in these last few races? He's just been involved in so many different incidents after a 5-point streak of 6 races, point scoring, English. But then the last few races, he's just been involved in all kinds of incidents. So hopefully the Italian Grand Prix will be better for my boy Charles. The next moment worthy of a talking about is at Trimus X. Well, not him, but he's the person that submitted. Ocon defending from Verstappen. Well, can we really call it defending? The DRS zone on the Kemmel Straight was far too powerful, especially when you had like a Mercedes or a Red Bull, which had a very skinny wing, against the likes of a Force India or anything. Bottas was coming through the field a lot. It just was no point. The DRS overtake was just like, woo, you know, just it wasn't like they were side by side going into turn 5. It was just, the move is done. See ya. Now this was good. Obviously Valtteri started from the pit lane, so he had to make quite a few overtakes during the race. This one was by a country mile the best overtake we had of the race. At Ripley_Joel, Bottas on the outside up Eau Rouge. I know a lot of you will be saying, oh, but it was on a Toro Rosso, I think it was Hartley. Oh, well, you know, it's such a slower car, but the man has literally gone round the outside, kind of at Raidillon, not Eau Rouge, but I know the meme's dead, but we're just you know, you've got to mention it because it did kind of break the internet. And going round the outside, that takes some balls. So Valtteri, he was a man on a mission today. A man who had his mission aborted after a lap 1 incident as well was Kimi Raikkonen. Actually, there was a lot more lap 1 incidents, Matt. There was Danny Rick having his rear wing absolutely exploded by Kimi Raikkonen, who then, no, not by Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen got exploded by Danny Rick, and Danny Rick got exploded by someone else from behind. I think Martin Brundle made a really good point, was that half the grid were kind of just preparing for 44 laps, and the other half kind of thought it was a 1-lap sprint race, and everyone collided. Kimi's race was ruined, Ricciardo's race was ruined, Alonso was blown up, Leclerc was destroyed. And at Painted Luck, this is what I was getting onto, Kimi is out of the race. This isn't fair. And it wasn't. Kimi looked so quick during this weekend. He genuinely looked like he had so much pace, could even maybe challenge for the victory and pole position, but just nothing worked out for him. Qualifying, under-fueled, and then in the race, punted. Now, one of the most anticlimactic moments of the race was when the pit stops came, because it was very much a one-stop race for most, if not all. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But at Track Critter, waiting for pit stops to start, and they came, and Hamilton pitted one lap early, and we thought maybe he'll catch Vettel, or at least be within DRS range. But then Verstappen was in front of him when Hamilton came out, and then obviously the dirty air kind of affected him on his one lap where he was on fresher tyres. Vettel came out in front of both Verstappen and Hamilton. Hamilton breezed past Verstappen, and that was pretty much it for the race victory. I was so hopeful that there would be some kind of race, but Vettel had the quicker race car, it seemed, and he got ahead, and that was it. Now, a few of you will be angry that I'm bringing this up, but some of you will be happy. It's just something, it's Marmite, this meme, as it's been shown on social media, at NordicPL, when someone says up the Eau Rouge, I'm not sure if they say up the Eau Rouge or up Eau Rouge. Oh my goodness me. Just a shout out to everyone that has made this meme so big. I know some people hate it and just can't be bothered with it, but I mean, it's a meme, get over it, just close your Twitter or whatever. But a lot of people loved it, and it's been a ride these last few days. Now, I mentioned about the lap 1 carnage at the beginning of the video, and obviously throughout the race there were replays and replays and replays of it because there was nothing else going on. And then I saw this tweet at Jessie the Lion, and that's her F1, or his F1, I'm assuming her, it's Jess, her F1 fantasy team has Kimi Räikkönen, Danny Rick, Fernando Alonso and Nico Hülkenberg in it, so I can feel the pain. People were very active on social media because the race wasn't that fun, not that interesting to watch. I'm pretty sure I was on my phone for about 6 laps straight and didn't even look at the coverage in the sort of 30s laps. So yeah, a lot of people coming in. At my Alex saying Sebastian Vettel after the start and again after the pit stop. Bye. At AdamPW_F1 and normal service resumed after the pit stops. So many people were bored, which, okay, I can understand, when there's an element of strategy, but it's a one-stop. A lot of people were on the same strategy. I mean, Sainz was the only one to start on the mediums, I think. That didn't really work out for him, I don't think. At Will Porter 22, when you see it could get interesting in the pit stops, but nothing happens and it goes back to being a boring race. Okay, we understand now it was a boring race. Let's move on to some other reactions. I mentioned a little bit earlier that Red Bull were running quite skinny wings and low downforce to have as much straight line speed as possible. At Sam's RT4, looking at the Red Bull wing size, it was very true, but still not as quick as the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Now this one's probably kind of a reaction. I mean, he used the hashtag WTF1, nice. John Viganar was actually at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and I just wanted to show this one purely because it's just such a cool thing to see, like the passion of the fans to be flaring up orange smoke, which Max will definitely not have missed as he's driving down the Kemmel Straight. And that sort of thing is awesome to see, and I'd like to see more countries get involved with that. Although British fans will probably use fireworks or something slightly more dangerous. Let's just keep it chill like smoke and stuff. But also, if the wind was going the other way, surely that would have kind of covered the track. I don't know, but it's nice to see.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
The finishers were as follows. Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Grassley. Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Grosjean. I do like a chicken goujon, but Grosjean. Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Grosjean. Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Grosjean, Magna Gasly. Who is that? Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Grosjean, Magnussen, Gasly, Ericsson, Sainz, Sorokin, Stroll, Hartley, Van Dorn. Yeah! Boom! The non-finishers were as follows. Ricardo, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Ricardo, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Alonso, Hülkenberg. That's a lot of letters. Ricardo, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Ricardo, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Alonso, Ricardo, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Alonso, Hülkenberg. Okay, done. We are done. That's race rundown for you. So that is it for the internet's best reactions to the Belgian Grand Prix. It was a bit of a snooze fest, unfortunately for us, and such an iconic track, it kind of just highlights that the cars really just aren't good for overtaking. We already kind of knew this, and hopefully they'll just improve next year with the simplified front wings. I am praying. I am praying. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll pick the best ones from there. I'm liking the variety of gifts. You guys are picking it up a bit now, so continue with that into next week's Italian Grand Prix, if you will. Thank you very much. That is it. If you want to watch another video, click here. If you want to subscribe, click just here. If you want to go to our WTF1 shop, where we've got some new shirts, all kinds of lovely merchandise, key rings, stuff like that, more generic stuff as well. If you don't want WTF1 branded stuff or whatever, why would you not? I don't know. Click over here. I'm Matt with WTF1, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye from the Rage Kitchen.